Welcome back to another episode of Insects for Fun. This week, we're going to look at the legendary executioner wasp. When it comes to fearsome insects, few hold a reputation quite like Polistes carnifex, a paper wasp native to Central America. Its common name, the executioner wasp, is not an exaggeration. This species is notorious for having one of the most painful stings in the insect world. But there's far more to this insect than just its sting. Let's uncover what makes these wasps special and why they might not be as bad as you've probably been led to believe. Polistes carnifex belongs to the family Vespidae, which is the family most people think of when they picture a wasp. The genus Polistes is one for paper wasps and includes over 200 species worldwide. Carnifex itself is found primarily from southern Mexico through Central America, including Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and parts of Panama. The species favors lowland tropical forests and disturbed habitats, often building nests near human habitation, where their open, umbrella-like structures are easy to see. The name Polistes carnifex comes from Latin. Carnifex translates to executioner or hangman, which is a nod to the wasp's powerful sting and lethal efficiency when defending its nest. Fun fact, this wasp didn't get its English common name until around 2010, which is pretty late if you ask me. The Latin name was assigned by the entomologist Johann Fabricius in 1775, reflecting the early fascination and fear humans had toward this species. These wasps are certainly large for paper wasps and range from 28 to 35 millimeters in length. And much like other paper wasps, they have a slender body, long legs, and narrow waist. Their coloration is pretty striking. Bright bands that are yellow, which contrast sharply with dark brown or black markings. This signals their danger to potential predators, a classic example of aposematic coloration, which if you don't remember is what we say when colors reflect the danger of an animal. Their elongated mandibles and antennae also make them look more intimidating, especially when compared to the smaller Polistes species. Like other Polistes wasps, P. carnifex is social but lives in very small colonies ranging from 3 to 13 individuals, which is actually a lot smaller than its neotropical cousins. Colonies are usually founded by a single queen in the spring who begins building the signature papery nest. The nest is made from chewed wood fibers mixed with saliva, forming hexagonal cells that house the developing larvae. What's really interesting is that these nests don't have any covering, which means the cells are completely open to the elements and potential predators. The queen lays eggs in these cells, which are cared for by female workers once they emerge. Now, when it comes to the diet, adult P. carnifex wasps feed primarily on nectar and other sugary substances, which provide energy for flight and nest defense. The larvae, however, are fed protein-rich prey, which adult workers hunt. They typically paralyze caterpillars and other soft-bodied insects with their sting and then bring them back to the nest. The paralyzed prey remains fresh, providing a reliable food source for growing larvae. This provisioning behavior is a hallmark of predatory paper wasps and ensures larval survival in a tropical environment with high competition. The life cycle begins with egg laying in individual cells, as I mentioned, and eggs hatch in about 5 to 7 days, producing larvae that are fed by the adult workers. Larvae grow for 10 to 14 days before pupating within the same cell, and pupation lasts approximately 10 to 14 days as well, after which the adults emerge ready to forage, defend, and continue the colony. In tropical environments, P. carnifex colonies can persist for several months, sometimes overlapping with multiple generations. Okay, now let's talk about that sting, because the sting of Polistes carnifex is notorious, earning it the nickname executioner. And it is for a reason. Reports from both scientists and local populations describe the pain as so intense that it can leave a person writhing for several hours. But why is it so excruciating? The answer lies in the venom's chemistry. P. carnifex venom contains neurotoxic peptides and enzymes designed to rapidly disrupt nerve signaling and trigger immediate intense pain. Although the exact makeup is yet to be determined, what we do know is that the compounds activate the pain receptors in the skin far more effectively than typical insect stings, which produces a burning, pulsating sensation that often spreads beyond the sting site. The venom also contains proteins that cause local inflammation, swelling, and sometimes even temporary muscular weakness. For context, entomologists often compare the sting of P. carnifex to that of the bullet ant, which we talked about before on this podcast. And while both stings are excruciating, they differ in a couple ways. The bullet ant is larger and delivers a greater volume of venom, causing sharp, throbbing pain that peaks within minutes and can last up to 24 hours. P. carnifex, though slightly smaller, compensates with venom that hits the nerve endings with remarkable efficiency, producing a highly concentrated, intense burning that can feel almost immediate and last at that intensity for several hours. Some researchers suggest that the chemical composition of P. carnifex venom is optimized for deterring vertebrate predators, such as birds or small mammals, which again is something we also see with the bullet ants. And many people argue that one is worse than the other, but it's incredibly hard to quantify that because stings truly are subjective. So whether you want to believe that bullet ants are the world's most painful or the executioner wasp, well, that's up to you. Interestingly though, the sting of P. carnifex is not primarily used for hunting. Adult P. carnifex are nectar feeders. Its primary function is defense, a warning signal to any creature that dares approach. Now, coupled with its striking yellow and black coloration and aggressive posturing, the wasp ensures potential threats think twice before acting. This combination of venom potency and visual intimidation is a classic example of, again, something called aposematism. And honestly, paper wasps are well known for being more chill compared to hornets or other wasps. And there are a few biological and behavioral reasons for this. Number one is their nesting style and colony size. Paper wasps build relatively small open nests, which reduces the overall aggression needed to defend the nest. There are fewer mouths to feed and fewer workers to coordinate. Number two would be foraging behavior. Paper wasps primarily hunt individually, usually provisioning their larvae with caterpillars and other soft-bodied insects. They don't aggressively scavenge for sugary human foods like yellow jackets, which keeps them out of direct conflict with humans. Number three would be social structure. Paper wasps have a relatively simple social hierarchy: one queen and a small number of workers. There's less competition and fewer internal conflicts compared to the highly organized and competitive colonies of hornets or yellow jackets. Less internal conflict can translate to calmer behavior overall. Also, because paper wasps are smaller and live in more open nests, their defense is highly visual, which I mentioned earlier. Their bodies, their aggressive posture, their coloring, all of this aposematic warning is to deter predators and not have to actually sting them. They prefer to warn and intimidate first rather than attack immediately. Larger, more aggressive wasps with enclosed nests tend to sting more readily because their nest is harder to defend visually. Now, I'm not saying that you will never get stung by a paper wasp or that all paper wasps are super chill, because those things are simply not true. But what I am saying is that generally speaking, paper wasps tend to be more chill than other Vespidae. Okay, let's now get into some cultural facts. In Central American folklore, P. carnifex is both feared and respected. Indigenous communities often avoid areas where the wasps nest. Knowing the sting can incapacitate humans for hours. Ecologically, these wasps play a vital role in controlling herbivorous insect populations, such as caterpillars, helping to maintain the balance of the tropical forest ecosystems. In conclusion, Polistes carnifex is more than just a painful sting. It is a highly evolved predator, a vigilant social insect, and an iconic member of Central America's rich entomological landscape. Thanks for listening to this episode. I hope you guys learned something and enjoyed it. And of course, as always, please rate this podcast 5 stars and make sure to share it with as many people as you can. I'm doing this solo, so I really need your help to boost this show's visibility. And if you want to further support the show, you can do so over at Patreon. I have a lot of bonus episodes. I try to release at least 1 or 2 a month. I also have a ton of vlogs that show caterpillar raising and stuff like that. So if you want to do that, you can head over to Patreon. Thanks again for listening.